Okay, so our first seed is the Carolina Hurricanes, and they'll be taking on the Ottawa Senators. What do we think of this series?
Yeah, it's funny. Typically, a 1-8 matchup, most people are going to pick the number one seed. But I've seen a lot of buzz out there about this potential Ottawa upset. I'm not necessarily buying that, though.
Yes, they are back in the playoffs for a second year in a row. Can they avoid the first round exit this year? We will see. Let's look first, though, at the Carolina Hurricanes. What are their keys for success in this series?
I think we have to begin between the pipes.
Yes, now if there is one Achilles heel on this team, it probably is the goaltending. So I think they're going to have to get at least adequate goaltending if they do want to avoid that upset.
Yeah, for sure. And if they can't get that goaltending, if they do struggle there, they're going to need their defensive structure to do what it usually does and really insulate the goaltender from some of the dangerous offensive weapons that Ottawa does have.
Who gets the first crack in net?
Well, you got to think it's Brandon Bussey. He came out of nowhere this year.
Yeah,
and
27-year-old rookie.
Yeah, the numbers don't blow you away, but he had some solid stretches. And I think that if given the fact that Freddie Anderson seems to have lost yet another step, and Kochetkov has been hurt, although he was just activated off of IR, he will be available, so I wouldn't be shocked to see him get in the crease at some point.
Ooh, if they go down to their third goal, it means they're probably in trouble.
Yes, that's true. So obviously they probably want to leave Bussey in there if they can, but that's going to be Ottawa's goal, is to get to Bussey early and plant that seed of doubt.
Yeah, for sure. I think another thing that Carolina needs to do is take advantage of home ice. They have the home ice advantage here, and they have been such a deep offensive team this year. They roll some lines. They got a lot of lines to throw at you. So with last change, that could really spell trouble for the Ottawa defenders. If they could put Ottawa on their back foot early, get out to an early lead in the series, that could be trouble for the Sens.
I love their depth scoring. I was surprised to see that Carolina had the second best offense in the NHL this year.
Now, that is shocking to me, especially given the fact they only had 1 point per game player, Sebastian Aho, Mr. Consistency. But a lot of balance up and down that lineup, and I think it's especially those third and fourth lines, if they can chip in with offense and really exploit the lack of depth on Ottawa's blue line with some of the injuries they've been ravaged by, I think that could really be a problem for the Senators.
We were wondering at the beginning of the season how Nikolai Ehlers would fit into Carolina. He established a new career high.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. He fit really well on that power play as well, which is good because he didn't really get that opportunity as much as he would have liked when he was playing with the Winnipeg Jets. So good offensive season. We'll see how he fits into the squad during the playoffs because, he may not be the most equipped for a deep, gritty playoff series, but we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, well, what about Ottawa, though? If they are going to pull off this upset that some believe they can, what are their keys?
Well, again, it starts in goal.
Yeah.
I mean, this team was really good defensively. They've got a good offense, but the goaltending almost sunk their season. Linus Allmark, I know he's had some issues this year, but can he perform when they need him the most?
Yeah, I think he's not only going to have to play even with Carolina's goaltenders, he's going to have to be the best goalie in this series for Ottawa to have a shot.
Yeah, for sure. When I look at the Sens, I have some questions about the defense. Obviously, Jake Sanderson was out for a while. He's back, but how healthy is he? How much can he withstand a gritty playoff series? Thomas Chabot was out, and it seems like he came back pretty early. Is he really ready to go? And after that, the defense is kind of thin. I know they have Arden Zub and Jordan Spence. They're decent defensemen, but I think the bottom pairing is really where they're going to struggle.
Yeah, there is some hope Tyler Clevin might come back at some point in this series, but you're right. Carolina's forward depth is going to have to try to wear down that Ottawa D-corps because I think we might have to see 30 minutes of Sanderson a night for Ottawa to have a shot.
One thing I really love about this Ottawa team is they can get gritty. Obviously, they've got to Chuck. We'll see what kind of shenanigans he pulls in the playoffs. But he's not the only
healthy,
guy.
though, right? If he's healthy, his status is also in question leading into the series. But beyond him, Tim Stützle is an absolute dynamo out there. So dangerous. I really am excited to see what he can do in his second taste of playoff action.
Yeah, sure. I like this team's center depth and the flexibility they have there at that position. They have a lot of guys that can slot in and out. You have Kachuk, he can take draws. Obviously, Giroux, really good guy there. Stützle as well. And, of course, they have Cousins. They have Shane Pinto. These are all guys that are pretty good at the center position. And, that could spell trouble for Carolina because they're a little bit weak down the middle.
Yeah, that's the one issue I see with Carolina is the second-line centerman. Now, Logan Stankoven has done a admirable job filling in at second center, but this is going to be a really, really big challenge for him playing hard minutes against stiff competition. Jordan Staal is an excellent third-line centerman, but
20 goals this year.
I know he's ageless, and obviously Aho is excellent. But I don't know if Aho is a number one centerman on a championship team.
I think the Sens just have to muck it up in this series.
They are the bigger, stronger team. That is definitely one of their keys. You look at a guy like maybe Ridley Gregg would be a real pain to play against.
Amadio.
Yes, they have those guys. So I think that this will be an entertaining series.
Yes.
I really do think, though, the key for Carolina is put Ottawa down early. Don't inspire hope.
Yeah, I think this could actually get a little ugly, this one.
This could be fun.
yeah.
All right, guys, who are you choosing?
Well, I think it's Carolina. I just think they're too deep. They've got the playoff experience, and this is their year. The East looks wide open. This is their chance to make it out of the East. They're going to be hungry. Canes in 6.
Yeah, I don't think Rod the Bod will be denied. They've made it out of the first round for several years in a row now. I just think they're going to be too much for the Sens. I am going Carolina in 5.
I'm so curious if this is the year that Carolina can finally get over the hump and make it into the Stanley Cup Finals. For the first round, I'm saying Carolina in 6.